Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. These are the Arabic alphabets, and the letters which are inside the red boxes are actually heavy letters, which means that they have an aw sound in it. So alif, ba, ta, sa. The tip of the tongue will be touching at the edge of the upper front two teeth very gently and softly in the letter sa. Jim, ha. Ha must be as sharp as a sword from the middle of the throat. Kha, dal, zal, ra, za. In the letter za, we must not touch our tongue anywhere. The upper and the lower teeth have a little bit of gap and we read this letter with force. Seen, same is the case with seen. Sheen, sword, in the letter sword, we place our tip of the tongue at the back side of the bottom front two teeth. Sword, lord, left side of the tongue will be touching left roof of the mouth. Ta, law, ain, ghain, fa, qaf, kaf, lam, mim, noon, wow, ha, hamza, ya. Qaf will be from the back side of the roof of the mouth, whereas kaf will be from the front as compared to qaf.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. This sign which you are seeing is called Fattah, and the sound of Fattah is A. So this is Ba Fattah Ba. Ba La Gha. We must not stretch the letters unnecessarily like Ba La Gha, not like that. And we must not also make the sound jerky like Ba La Gha, not like that. The correct sound will be, the correct length will be Ba La Gha. Ba La Gha. Okay. When the same sign comes below a letter, it becomes a kasra. And the sound of kasra is E. The sound of fatah is A. The sound of kasra is E. So it is adina. The sound of dhamma is U. So it is su'ila. Alright. This is double fatah and the sound of double fatah is an. So it is abadan. So dal and an becomes dan. Abadan. Similarly, this is double kasra and the sound of double kasra is in. So it is amadin. So the sound of double fatah is an. The sound of double kasra is in. So amadin. And similarly, this is double dhamma and the sound of double dhamma is un. So it is la'ibun. Alright. Now this is standing fatah, and whenever it comes above a letter, we stretch that letter for 1 second. The sound of standing zabar is standing fatah is a. The sound of standing fatah is a. And whenever it comes above a letter, we stretch that letter for 1 second. So it is ala. So ain has a fatah, we will not stretch it, and lam has a standing fatah, we will stretch it for 1 second. So this is ala. And similarly, this is standing kasra, and whenever it comes below a letter, we stretch it for 1 second. So this is bihi. So we have stretched the he for 1 second. Similarly, this one is reverse dhamma. Whenever it comes above a letter, we stretch the letter for 1 second. The sound of reverse dhamma is oo. The difference between dhamma and reverse dhamma is the length. Whenever it comes above a letter, we stretch it for 1 second. So this is yadahu. All right. So this is the big mud. Whenever it comes above a letter, we stretch that letter for 4 seconds. So this is ata'an, ghusa'an. So we have to count on our fingers 4 times, which means that it is roughly equal to 4 seconds. Similarly, this one will be G-A. Now this alif will be ignored because this ya has a sukoon on it. Whenever a letter has a sukoon on it and the previous letter does not have any sign, we skip that letter, go back and we connect the previous letter which has a sign directly to the letter which has a sukoon. So it will be G A. So we stretch the G because of the big mud here. All right, this is the small mud, and whenever it comes above a letter, we stretch the letter for 2 seconds. So this will be Bima unzila. All right. Ulaika sawafa. All right. This is the alif madar rule. Whenever a letter has a fatah on it and the next letter is alif, we stretch the letter for 1 second. It is the same as if standing fatah. The only difference is visual. As well as the sound is concerned, both the standing fatah and the alif madda are the same thing. So this is zata. Alright, whenever a letter has a dhamma on it and the next letter is waw with the sukoon on it, we call it waw madda and we stretch it for 1 second. So it will be qalu. So on qa we apply alif madda, on lu we apply waw madda. So qalu. Whenever a letter has a kasra below it and the next letter is ya with sukoon, we stretch it for 1 second and that's called ya madda rule. So it will be akhi, tajzi. Alright, so this is the sukoon sign. Whenever it appears above a letter, we connect the previous letter with that letter. And here we are actually connecting Hamza with the Qaf and applying the Qalqala rule. We will later on understand and learn what is Qalqala. For the time being, just repeat after me. Uqtul naqasusu makran batosha qitri atmim. This is the function of sukoon. حبل صبر أجر زجرة صدق قدحا شأن. Whenever sukoon is above a hamza, we connect the previous letter with a jerk. So it is a jerk. We create a jerky sound here. So sha'nun ya'tikum bi'sa quri'a yu'minu mu'sadatun. Alright, whenever a letter has a tashdeed on it, we connect the previous letter with that letter and we press that letter for half a second. So, and we read that letter 2 times. So, this dal will be read 2 times. For example, we will connect Saad with the dal. So, this will be 1 time, and then we will read the fatah of dal. This will be the 2nd time. So, we will combine these two dals together. So, this is Sod and Da. Sod Da. So, we press the dal for half a second. So, Saddaqa, Qaddara, كذب علم حصل عدد مدت حقت خفت يسر تبت تقبل تبع صب ظن. Okay, whenever noon or meme have tashdeed on them, we press these letters for 1 complete second. Instead of half a second, we press these letters for 1 complete second, and this is called ghunna. So this is ghanna, thumma, mimma, hunna, illiyuna, illiyina, innalladhina, illalladhina, يزكى يذكر حتى لشتى صلى تولى تجلى والضحى عدف. Whenever waw has a tashdid on it, we produce the V sound. عدف مستمر عربي. Whenever tashdid is on the ya letter, we produce the G sound, like in the word vision. Samiriyu fil yammi fatallun. Alright. Whenever there is a small noon, the small noon is called noon qutni. So this tiny noon, whenever it appears, and before that, if there is alif madda, then alif madda will be ignored. So it will be read like this. Adanil ula. Instead of saying adanil, it will be adanil ula. Khayranil wasiyah. Since we are stopping here, the round ta will turn into ha and the dhamma will turn into sukoon. So that's why we said khayranil wasiyah. However, if we want to continue reading, then it will be like this. Khayranil wasiyatu mathalanil qawmu lumazatinil ladhi. Since we did not uh, decide to stop here, that's why we read the small noon as well. If we want to stop here, like lumazah, then the noon, the small noon, will be ignored. Alladhi, we will read it like this.